Hello vinyl community and anyone else that's stumbled across this video. I'm another fat bearded man talking about records, but the doctor's prescription I've got for a rather dodgy rash says I'm called Headley. Right, I'm going to be running through some recent finds, including a collection of about 30 Loretta Lynn records that I bought from eBay for a tenner, plus a tenner postage. But 30 records for £20, that's not bad, especially some of these. So I'm going to leave those till last, and anyone that has no interest in looking at 30 Loretta Lynn records can skedaddle, can sling your hook, and I won't think less of you, but I secretly will. But of course I have no idea when you give up on this video, do I? You know, we don't get that information. It'd be good to know, so I know which one of you people out there, you know, watch the first 5 minutes and just go, nah, I've seen it. Anyway, but I will leave those till last so that you don't have to look through those. And I'm going to go fast through them. I'm not going to talk about them particularly, just going to show them. Right, but I'm going to start with a collection of various things I've picked up over the last months or so. So, without further ado, I will begin. So, first one. This is Gladys Knight and the Pips, I Feel a Song, on the Buddha label. I'm not sure the date of this. It's mid-70s probably. And it's a bit of everything of what she does, really. It's some kind of funky stuff. There's a couple of Bill Withers covers, which are the funky ones. And those are great. But there's also things like there's a cover version of The Way We Were, which is the live version, which is a bit schmaltzy. But, you know, with bits of it are really quite good. And the second track on here, the second song, Love Finds Its Own Way. Is that the title track? No, I Feel a Song. Love Finds Its Own Way. I didn't know this when I put this on, and I suddenly went, I know this tune. And actually what it was the Eels sample it for Susan's House. Is it Susan's House? Yeah, and I didn't know that, so that's interesting to find that. Some good stuff there from Gladys Knight and the Pips. What is a fat bearded man video without some country? And of course we've got Ernest Tubb here. This is All Time Hits on Coral. This is from 1970. Looks earlier, doesn't it? So it might be a repress. And it's not his all-time hits. It's basically him doing all kinds of country hits. So you've got Warbush Cannonball, I'm Moving On, Crazy Arms, I Walk the Line. It's interesting because he's, I suppose, the arch honky-tonker is Ernest Tubb. And it's interesting to hear him turning I Walk the Line, you know, with Johnny Cash's boom chicka boom kind of rhythm totally taken away and given the honky tonk treatment. But it sounds good. Cold Cold Heart, Bouquet of Roses. Yeah, good album. I like that. Okay, we've got some folk, Irish folk, Planxty. I think it's pronounced that, Planxty. And this is from 70 something. Dibbly-doo, 70. Shall I have a look? See what the record says. 73. This is their first album. And yeah, so this is Christie Moore, who would go on to have solo fame, and Donald Looney, Andy Irvine, and Liam O'Flynn. And yeah, great Irish folk, kind of presented for a new audience in the 70s. It's not progressive in any way. It's just straight ahead, great folk. So we get things like the Raggle Taggle Gypsy, the West Coast of Clare. Do I know any other songs? No. Anyway, yeah, really good Irish folk. This is Diller Chandler, The End of an Old Song. And this is a repress. This was originally on the Folkways label, released in 1975. This is on the Tompkins Square label now, from 2014. And he is an a cappella Appalachian folk singer. Really, really good stuff. It's, like I said, just him singing a cappella. The power and the songs are amazing. He kind of, you can tell where the songs have drawn from their English, Irish, Scottish roots, and then they've got the Appalachian kind of take on it, and then some of them are very much updated as well, so there's sort of modern references to cars and guns and things like that, and also some of them don't shy away from some more I suppose problematic language, but you know, as a cultural artifact, it's very important that we know these things, that we can't completely whitewash the past. But yeah, really interesting, really great. I'd give a listen to him. He is on YouTube. That's Diller Chandler. Powerful stuff. Okay, I have a guilty pleasure. I know people don't like guilty pleasure. I don't really like guilty pleasure. I like Billy Joel. The Stranger, I think, is his best album, and yeah, I do like a lot of his sort of 70s stuff. Now, I bought this on tape, Stormfront, when it came out in '89, and I had the tape. I probably still got it somewhere. In fact, I liked the song. I think it was Leningrad I liked at the time, and I even bought the guitar and piano book so I could learn it, and I really liked it. And of course, it had "We Didn't Start the Fire," which was a big hit for him. And I just saw this and I thought, it was only £1. I thought, I'll have that. And I've listened to it, and yeah, it has its dodgy moments. I mean, you know, "We Didn't Start the Fire" is slightly ridiculous. I will just list things. How about that? Yeah, and you know, he does things like Leningrad and Downeaster Alexa, which is a song about sort of fishermen. And you know, he's not a great political songwriter, but he has a go. And the production is a bit, well, 89 really, but I'll probably hold on to it because I remember it fondly. At the same time and the same place, I picked up The Bridge. Now, it's really interesting. If you look, it's got an American sticker on it. Disc-O-Mat, $5.99. $5.99. I put this on. I mean, this is from '86, so I think it's the album he did before Stormfront, and it is bloody awful. The production is just horrible. And I've only kept this to show it in this video, and I think I'll probably sling it because no one deserves to listen to this. It's not very good. It's produced by Phil Ramone. The height of 80s overproduction. Nasty, nasty stuff. I can't even think of any of the songs that particularly struck me. Yeah, that's going. Not nice. At the other end of the spectrum is Leon Russell and Newgrass Revival, the live album. Now, this shouldn't work. It's a live performance by Leon Russell, you know, the kind of New Orleans blues pianist, with Newgrass Revival, who are a progressive bluegrass outfit. And it's Leon Russell's bluesy kind of New Orleans blues, jazz, with bluegrass. And it's brilliant. It's got a great version of Wild Horses and Jumping Jack Flash on it. We've got more traditional bluegrassy stuff like Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms. And it's got one of my favourites, my favourite song from his on his first one, Prince of Peace, which is just a great tune. And yeah, was there? Yeah, I've Seen a Face, which is a Beatles song, which actually I think that was done to death. I think the Dillards did that. in the 60s. But absolutely cracking. The concerts on YouTube, so go and listen to it. It's mad. It's psychedelic, funky bluegrass, and absolutely marvellous. And Leon Russell screams his way through it. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Okay, this is Michael Stanley, and it's called Friends and Legends. I do hate it when they have this great big space and a tiny little picture in the middle. There he is. Now, it's got an interesting thing here. I don't know if you can see that. I've got a number of records with this on. I don't know if you've seen them in the States. It basically is a sticker that says it's specially imported, Virgin 10p. So the idea being, I assume, is because this doesn't have MCA didn't have a distributor for this record in the UK, or maybe Virgin had the rights to it, I don't know, and they have to pay a kind of a duty to the British copyright owners to allow it to be sold here, which is really interesting. Like I said, I've got quite a few of those with those stickers on. Anyway, this is Michael Stanley, and this is kind of folk rocky, country rocky stuff, 1973. And it's probably more interesting for some of the artists that are on here with him. Let's see, we've got Joe Walsh, we've got Al Perkins, pedal steel, who played with loads of people. He was originally in Shiloh and he played with Graham Parsons. Joe Lala on congas and timbales and percussion. He's in Manassas, I think. Who else have we got? Percussion, Bill Semsek, who of course went on to produce the Eagles. And we've got Richie Furay, Dan Fogelberg on backing vocals. And I understand Jay Giles is one of the arrangers of parts of it. Yeah, saxophones produced by Jay Giles. Now, apparently, and it's a great album. It's got a great version of the Beatles' Help, which is really slowed down and kind of folk rocky, which is great. And it's, a really nice album. If you see it, I'd pick it up. It's probably really cheap. And apparently, the problem is with this album is that with all the talented musicians he brought in that makes the album sound great, they all had things to do, so they couldn't tour with him. So without sort of supporting the album, it kind of disappeared without trace. But if you see it, it's worth picking up. So that's Michael Stanley, Friends and Legends. I suppose he's talking about all the session players that play with him. Okay, bit of jazz. Charlie Parker, Volume 1, the Massey Hall Concert, or the Massey Hall Concert Volume 1. And as you can see from the list of who we've got Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Bud Powell, Charles Mingus, and Max Roach. That's quite a lineup. And this apparently was recorded by Charlie Mingus. He set up his own recording for this, kind of for his own entertainment, so he could have a souvenir of this gig. And eventually it found its way to get released. It's not the most brilliant sounding, quite obviously, because it's only from a sort of a small recording device. But it's a cracking album of some of the great talents of jazz. Really like that. Just a shame it's not better quality. Okay, last one before the Loretta Lynn marathon. This is Chip Hawkes' Nashville album. Now, I didn't know who Chip Hawkes was when I picked this up. It was only cheap, so I thought I'll give it a punt. And Chip Hawkes was in the Tremolos. Not original member of the Tremolos, but certainly he was a member of in the 60s. And he is also, for those who remember him, the father of Chesney Hawkes, who had a massive hit with I Am the One and Only, and a lesser hit with I'm a Man, Not a Boy. And this is Chip Hawkes, English, British musician doing a country album, and but it's got so you can decide you're going to do a country album in Nashville, record it in Nashville, and you're going to do songs like Eleanor Rigby in a country style. I don't quite understand why you would do that. It's got Riders in the Sky on it as well. I'm not sure on the other tracks. Ready for the Times to Get Better. I know that Crystal Gale did that, and Joe's son certainly did it as well. Anyway, so there you go. That's Chip Hawkes. Is there a gatefold that's worth looking at? No, there isn't. Okay, now this is your opportunity to escape. I'm going to show over 30 Loretta Lynn records. I'm not going to talk anything about them. I'm just going to show them. And they're in. I've put them into chronological order, going from the sort of late 60s up to the mid 80s, mostly 60s and 70s, which is great because most of that period you can't go wrong with Loretta Lynn, especially the ones that have her own songs on it that she's written herself. Although she's a great interpreter of other people's songs as well. One of the great voices of country. So here we go. So the earliest one. This is Hymns, Loretta Lynn. I think this is a repress. Then we've got Blue Kentucky Girl. Yeah. That's on Decca, that's an original. Ready for Christmas? Country Christmas. I'll look forward to putting that on at Christmas, that'll be great. Don't Come Home a-Drinking with Lovin' on Your Mind. Singing with Feeling. You Ain't Woman Enough. Who Says God Is Dead? Great gospel album, that one. Here's Loretta Lynn. Coal Miner's Daughter, probably one of her most famous songs. And there's the album that spawned it. Would be the title of her autobiography. You're Looking at Country. Coming into the 70s with these now. God Bless America Again. Makes it sound like a sequel. Am I missing the point of that title? Good stuff on there. Alone With You. Here I Am Again. Yes, she is. Here she is again. Love Is the Foundation. 73 we're up to. Entertainer of the Year, featuring Rated X. That's a great tune. They Don't Make 'Em Like My Daddy. There's a song here called Trouble in Paradise, which is great, and it would sit alongside sort of Dead Flowers by the Rolling Stones. Great stuff. We've got, what's this one called? This is called Back to the Country, featuring The Pill. I always thought it was actually The Pill was written by her, but it wasn't. 75. Home. Somebody Somewhere. We're getting a bit, yeah, the covers aren't exactly most impressive. When the Tingle Becomes a Chill. This is a good one. 76. It's a tribute to Patsy Cline. Remembering I Remember Patsy. She was good friends with Patsy Cline, so it's her doing songs that Patsy Cline made famous. With some rather nasty blue eyeshadow on this. Doesn't really look like her. This is Out of My Head and Out of My Head and Back in My Bed. Saucy. This is We've Come a Long Way, Baby. 79. Loretta. I wonder why she waited until 1980 to release an album just called Loretta. This is Looking Good. And it should be noted on the back here, it says Country Clothes by Loretta Lynn. So this is her advertising her clothing line. I'm not sure I'd go for it. Loretta Lynn, I Lie. That's a horrible album. And then we've got a best of. Another one. This is Loretta Lynn. And then the rest are with Conway Twitty. So we've got the very best of Loretta and Conway Twitty. She's got my favourite on it, Picking Wild Mountain Berries, and Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man. Loretta and Conway sing the great country hits. Never Ending Songs of Love. Penultimate one. This is Two's a Party. They certainly look very cosy there. I wonder if her husband knows. And the last one, and this is, I'm going to take this out because it's a gatefold. This is Honky Tonk Heroes. And those pictures are a thing of a nightmare. Look at that. And the inside's even better. Wow. I love that. That is, look at that. Do you think Conway Twitty was happy with that picture? I don't know if I'd be. Loretta looks okay though. Yeah, that's a great gatefold. Right, there you go. That was something like 30 odd Loretta Lynn albums. I'll be back soon with another video. There's moves afoot to try and get me to show some of my homemade guitars, which I might well do. I know this is about records, and I do kind of want to keep it like that. I suppose the problem is I've chosen a name that actually talks about records in the title of my channel, which doesn't give me much scope. Anyway, I might well do that. Sean was badgering me about that and getting other people to badger me, so I'll do that. And I've also got my country rock family tree coming along very nicely, and that whether I get that done before Christmas I don't know, but it might be in the new year, because I want to pick up a couple more records just to sort of fill in a couple of gaps. Okay, so until I see you again, bye bye for now.